So what is a braced front leg? The bowler has run into bowl, they've jumped, they've hit the back foot contact, and then they've come over and they've landed at front foot contact. Front foot contact is the point where we want to brace this front leg. We want this knee to not bend. So if you can't brace, your knee will buckle and then you'll bowl from that position. So the first thing that a braced front leg does is it acts as a brake. So you run in to bowl really quick, okay? And then you essentially want to stop and think of it like a catapult. A catapult has a fixed point for the arm of the catapult to come over and fling whatever it's flinging. It's the same when we're bowling. So we want to run in as hard as we can and take as much momentum into our delivery stride as possible. And then if our front leg braces, it acts like a big brake that then stops the momentum in our lower body, which then means our upper body can drive through quicker. If it doesn't brace, if it bends, it lengthens that braking time, which means the upper body doesn't come over with as much snap and as much force, which then means we can't bowl as quick. So it acting as a brake slows down the lower body, accelerates the upper body, which increases ball speed. The second reason that we want to brace our front leg is to increase our delivery height. So if I'm releasing the ball with a buckled front knee, I'm going to release the ball from there. Whereas if I brace that front leg, it instantly increases our delivery height. Why is that beneficial? You're going to get more bounce of the pitch, which is going to make you a harder bowler to play against. So not only is it going to improve your ball speed, bracing your front leg, it's also going to make you a better bowler and probably get more wickets because you're going to get more bounce and more out of the pitch. Finally, it reduces lateral flexion. So a big thing that a lot of bowlers struggle with is side strains, sore lower back, and falling over in the action. So this often happens when bowlers do not brace their front leg and they buckle at the knee. What the buckling does is it wastes and leaks energy. Okay, so we get our energy from the floor. If you watched our power hitting video, the same thing happened in that. You get your energy from the floor and it travels from the floor up into the ball. If that energy is traveling up and that knee bends, we don't need to bend our knee in an ideal world. So that's pointless energy, that's wasted energy. And then because we've wasted energy, it's come up to our core and our mind still wants to generate as much energy as possible. But because we've wasted some energy, it then shifts our core, shifts our hips, we bend over to the side, and then we release the ball from that position because we've generated energy somewhere else that we didn't need to. If we can brace that front leg, energy transfers up our kinetic chain in an optimal pattern, which means that there isn't the need for as much lateral flexion. So this is going to reduce your injury risk. It's going to reduce the stress on your lower back, reduce the risk of getting side strains, and mean that you can stay on the pitch for longer, and therefore again we're going to get more wickets. The final part of this video is going to concentrate on how you can get a nice braced front leg. So we're going to concentrate on three things here. The first one is hip mobility, the second one is hamstring strength, and the final one is knee stability. All three of these things play a key role in allowing you to get into this position, and if you lack any one of these three things, then your body isn't going to give you the chance to do it. Now, it's really important to mention here that even if you've got good hip mobility, good hamstring strength, and good knee stability, you might not necessarily brace your front knee. Your body might find a way around it. It might find a more optimal route for you to get the ball from A to B. However, for the majority of bowlers, if you've got those three things in check, it's going to really help you. And also, from my experience as a coach, a lot of my clients who I've worked with, those three things, hip mobility, knee stability, hamstring strength, have been lacking. Once those have improved, the action has improved and the braced front leg has magically appeared. Hip mobility. Why is having better hip mobility going to help you brace your front leg? So in this position, our hamstring is really important. We need a nice flexible hamstring. And a lot of people say they don't have flexible hamstrings and they blame that on the hamstring. A lot of people's hamstrings are tight because their hips aren't mobile enough. Therefore, the hamstrings are being asked to do more than they're supposed to. And when things are asked in the body are asked to do more than they're supposed to, they stiffen up and get nice and tight to protect themselves. It's actually a really good thing that your hamstrings are tight. They're doing a really clever job, but when you stretch them for hours on end, trying to touch your toes, you're lengthening them, and then once you stop stretching them, what do things do when you lengthen them? They snap back in even tighter. So if we stretched our hamstrings from the insertion point in our hips, and we got our whole hip capsule a lot looser and made it a lot more mobile, then our hamstrings are magically going to unlock themselves and increase the range of motion. So the first thing that you can do is mobilize your hips, get yourself able to sit into a 90-90 position comfortably, loosen off your hip flexors, be able to do a nice Spider-Man position. And once you've mastered all those things and your hips are moving better, magically your hamstrings will feel a lot better, which is going to mean your body is more happy to let your knee go from something like this to being a lot like that, where our hamstrings are lengthened. Hamstring strength. So when we're running in, and we've already talked about our knee, our braced front leg acting as a brake, okay? So for that brake to work, our hamstrings need to be really strong. A lot of people are quad dominant, so their quads are stronger than a hamstring, and that's going to mean their knee is going to be happier in flexion, where the quad can control the knee. If our hamstring controls the knee, then it's going to pull back on the kneecap and allow us to brace. Hamstring strength is often pretty poor in a lot of people. And to start with, you want to be doing simple things like a hamstring bridge, a glute bridge. But then once you get comfortable with them, you need to be able to hinge your hips. And then you can start loading your hamstrings in things like Romanian deadlifts. Knee stability. Why does our knee need to be stable? So, like I've said already, your body is really clever and it will find ways around getting you into positions where you're weak. So if your knee isn't stable, your body isn't going to be happy you running in and landing like this all the time. It's going to bend to make that knee in a bit of a stronger position so that it doesn't get more injured. Now, how can you improve knee stability and allow your mind to trust your knee to be in that position? Because that's all it is. It doesn't mean that this is an awful position for your knee. It just means that your body is going to try and protect your knee if it's a weak point. So for knee stability, basically single leg balances, different drills. To start with, try and balance on one leg with your eyes closed. See how long you can do that for. You'll be surprised how hard it is. If you find it easy, do it with your eyes closed and look up at the ceiling. You'll start to have a little bit of a wobble, and that's good. If we're wobbling, our brain is getting used to that instability, and therefore it's going to improve. And then once you're comfortable doing that, you can start on things like a single leg star, where you're in a nice, strong position, and you're tapping to one side. Once that knee is nice and stable, once our hip mobility is good, once our hamstrings are nice and strong, you've got a much better chance of being able to brace your front knee. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you're still here hanging around to the end, then please make sure you like this video, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Thank you very much.